Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wake Up Missoula. I'm your host, Scott Ramp, and I'm here to tell you everything that's wonderfully happening over your weekend. Today is March 23rd. Next week we'll be off from Wake Up Missoula. I'll be doing Spring Flicks, which are happening all next week. There's still plenty of spots available, a lot of spots, for kids who want to come on down. And from 9 to 3 p.m., usually during their school hours, but come on down and learn some videography, maybe learn some LAN parties, learn a little bit of tech stuff along the way. It's very open, and it's a great way to learn some broadcast television along with some YouTube and all sorts of social media type stuff along the way, so they can get literate when it comes to protecting themselves in a future generation where everyone has become an entertainer and audience. So anyways, let's talk about some things that are happening here in the city of Missoula. We're kicking things off with some weather. It is currently 36 degrees outside. Your high is going to be 47. Your low is going to be 31 degrees. Saturday, you're going to see that 30% chance of snow happening today increase to 60% chance on Saturday. Saturday night, it starts lowering down, so you might not need to worry about some of that snowfall happening overnight. But Sunday, it's going to be mostly sunny, but then, of course, they have that slight chance of rain and snow mixtures happening. But, of course, most likely it'll probably snow in the valley, but up in the mountains, it'll probably snow. Sunday night, slight chance of rain and snow, so you can see a lot of mixtures, a lot of jumps between temperatures. It's going to be basically a 20-degree jump pretty much all weekend long, so you guys have that to look forward to over your weekend as well. So let's kick things off with a little bit of what's happening within the city of Missoula. I'm sure most of you are kind of not interested in finding out that there's a special district being put into place created for the Missoula County Fairgrounds. The proposed special district will encompass the fairgrounds land only, and it will allow the county to leverage 4 mills assigned to improvements to take out one or more long-term loans to build as much as possible and as quickly as possible, according to Fairgrounds Director Emily Bentley. Weird part is that since no one has any property on the site, they cannot be taxed, so the money has to come from somewhere, and that's right, you guessed it, which means the Missoula County taxpayers in general would be paying for this. Commissioner Dave Strohmeyer also pointed out that the county could raise taxes to pay for improvements, a process that outside of elections technically does not have a formal citizen protest either. The first phase covers renovations of the 5 historic buildings, the commercial culinary, floriculture, home arts, and fair offices, as well as funding construction of a learning center, which will headquarters the weed extension and 4-H. Of course, I can already see the next couple of county meetings happening in the future. So, in state news, it's never too early for politics, right? 4 candidates for the Republican Party will fight each other if they are not already fighting against Democrat Senator John Tester. There was a debate at MSU the other day, and the winner of the primary will seek to stop Tester from winning a 3rd term in November in what will be one of the most closely watched elections of this year. 2 Green Party candidates and a Libertarian candidate are also running in this election as well. Businessman for the Republican Party in this last debate, it was businessman Troy Downey, former Judge Russell Fagg, State Senator Al Olszewski, and State Auditor Matt Rosendahl. With the June 5th primary drawing closer, all are fighting for the Republican seat in the primary. In national news, the fear of China has caused the Dow to drop 724 points in a report by NPR's Jim Zarroli. Worries about a possible trade war helped send stock prices down sharply yesterday, with the Dow Jones Industry averaging losing nearly 3% of its value. The drop both of the Dow and the Standard and the Poor's 500 index in negative territory for the year. The plunge in prices came as the same day that President Trump was announcing tens of billions of dollars in tariffs on Chinese imports. Beijing has started to retaliate with tariffs of its own. So basically, a bunch of people are going to be taxing one another for shipping imports. But of course, basically any trade between the two countries will be met with much taxes and regulations on top of each other. The financial market has been especially volatile of late for reasons that go beyond fears of trade. Facebook, which also has been dealing with the fallout over its new handling of user data, data mining is a big deal, has been losing ground all week, and that has sent shares of other technology companies falling as well. Bitcoin is definitely not going through the roof this time, folks. So that kind of concludes what's happening in the news. I have some new programs that are going to be airing on AMGET for the next couple of days. So get your mind off the stock market. Of course, if you're an investor in a publicly traded a business, you might have to worry about it. But other than that, who cares? Anyways, moving on. Here's some new programs on AMGET. And when I come back, we'll talk about some terrible movies that are coming out.
Hi everyone, I'm Joel Baird, General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television, inviting you to this edition of Out and About. We're at the Mask Studios in the west side of Missoula with Alex Payne. Alex, thanks for taking the time to visit with us.
Hey, you're welcome, Joel. Yeah.
So, what goes on at Mask Studios? You've described it to me as a kind of artist collective as well as a learning space.
It sure is. So, Mask Studio stands for Mokshaw Aerial Studio Collective. It's home of the Mask Artisans, which is a performers guild out of the studio. And the studio itself trains members of our society, people of any ability level, for all sorts of arts. The things that you're seeing here, for instance. You can train people in aerial silks, train people in pole classes, even partner acrobatics, do some juggling with people as well, and all sorts of kind of fun art that people don't always experience.
And I can't even count the number of times I've been asked this fall about the issue of forest management and wildfire, and why doesn't logging and forest management prevent these fires and this smoke? And that's a fundamental misconception that I've been trying to address, and it's something that I want to make sure that us, broader society, doesn't expect of our forestry students, because it's not something that our profession can deliver on.
This is not typical. This was in one of our field visits. This is one of their NFA cars, their National Food Agency cars. So 2011, they said, hey, we're doing it. We're going to do this. We're going to get this done. So why did I get to go to Georgia? Other than the fact that CDC dragged me to Dubai for a month or a week. That was pretty fun. I had more fun over there, but I am a subject matter expert in food. I mean, Peter, you saw that on there. I like food safety. I love foodborne outbreak response. So that's what I do. I have a really close working relationship with CDC, and I understand their philosophy. Remember about that end product testing? CDC we in the United States believe that you're going to find a foodborne pathogen coming out of you much easier than you're ever going to find it in food.
Hey guys, welcome back. Your favorite Rock'em Sock'em robots are back in this upcoming movie. This one. All right, so some giant robots fight each other as sleeper cells emerge to reopen the depths of the Pacific Rim, which is what this movie is called. It's called Pacific Rim Uprising, which brings monsters, the kaijus, into a world to destroy the people. Watch the son of a hero who, guess what, is reluctant to save the day. Anyways, watch a bunch of good-looking people take on monsters in this squeakquel that will definitely need some WD-40. As every Wes Anderson fan should know, that this movie tends to be a slice of life for some characters that go through a very tough time looking for happiness. only to be like, well, that just happened. In a movie about stop-motion Japanese boy looking for a stop-motion animated dog with the help of stop-motion animated creatures, just assume everything's stop-motion animals before the noun, that was sent away because the government, xenophobia, looking for a scapegoat to blame everything on, which is why they send all these dogs to an island. Sound familiar? Watch this adult-themed political epic journey targeted to children, but meant for adults, basically. Yeah, so I love dogs. Up next, we got part 3 of an ongoing series about Romeo and Juliet as they search for what was lost, and with the help of, you guessed it, Sherlock Gnomes, in this comedy geared towards dumb children. Why not hire Johnny Depp to voice a detective in a third animated movie about gnomes with personality when people are not looking? Have you ever seen a lawn gnome? They are the devil, and it will make it awkward to walk past your neighbor who thinks their lawn is an equivalent of an ugly keychain. And that's all you need to know about some of the crappy movies that are coming out here. And as for movies, I have a nice little short film for you guys, courtesy of the Flagship program. This is Flagship Friday, and when I come back, I'll talk about the city council, and there was a nice special presentation about how timber embers cause your house to catch on fire. So stay with me. I'll be back with that and more after this.
What are you doing?
I'm going to this chair.
Why?
Because it looked at me funny. This is the one thing I've always wanted to do.
Okay, I think the chair's dead now.
My hand hurts.
Well, there's better ways to handle your anger.
Don't tell me how to relieve my stress.
What is going on in here, people? He killed a chair. What did the chair do to you?
It looked at me funny.
First of all, chairs do not have eyes. Second of all, they aren't really alive. So how can you kill it? And third of all, this conversation is meaningless. Who says chairs aren't alive? Excuse me, this topic is like crazy. Bye.
For as long as I know, chairs are everywhere. They're at work, they're at classrooms, heck, even in homes. We should gather all the chairs in one area and just build a wall.
I am not paying for some stupid wall. If the chairs pay for it, I'm in.
Chairs.
Seriously?
Hey, I'm just saying, chairs take our bus, chairs take our tables, chairs take everything when we use them.
I mean, chairs are useful. Don't engage.
Chairs are evil masterminds planning on making zombies a thing and trying to take over the world.
If you want to talk chairs, where are they?
Well, good riddance. I'm gonna need a bigger hand.
I just couldn't resist.
So what's the plan?
I don't think these chairs are alive. This is getting crazy.
I told you these chairs are evil.
Shh, they might hear us. They're chariers? Quickly, to the window.
I told you. But they have more than you think. They have ears, they have eyes, they have eyebrows, they have mouths, they have noses. They're gonna kill us. Look, there's an exit. I'm going down, I'm going down slapping. Look, the chair is having a baby. Oh, so cute.
Wait, are we going to be like destroyed by chairs or something?
That was a crazy dream.
Wait, what were you dreaming about?
Chairs taking over the world.
Same.
Good thing it was only a dream.
Hey guys, now it's time for some city council. In one of the meetings, let me just check my cheat sheet. Public Works. Traffic on Higgins near Hellgate will be challenging pretty soon as Hellgate works with Jackson Contractor Group Incorporated with Missoula County Public Schools for the construction and remodel of Hellgate High School. They need a crane. And they need to put the crane somewhere. So what they're trying to do is put a crane near the school, and they want to be able to do it during spring break. Sooner the better. Of course, they're looking for approval. This is Troy Monroe from the Jackson Contracting Group. He speaks on construction, and he shows a nice little picture kind of showing the area in which will be kind of have some traffic congestion because of this.
They need to do all the placement when there are not occupants within the building. So they're doing all of their work during spring break. So they'll find out on the first Monday exactly how much construction time do they have given the restraints for the road closure, and they've asked for additional time, and that's what this noise request has come in for. So if they don't have enough time during the 5 days of the week, they'll need to work evenings. MDT will allow them to reshift the lane at 8 p.m. So they're looking at having maybe 1 or 2 shifts next week that would be after the normal construction hours of 7 p.m. They don't believe they're going to exceed the noise ordinance of 70 decibels at night, but again, this is a precaution that they need to have in case they do.
All right, so that's kind of what they're asking for. The city approved this to move forward with the construction of the updates to the MCPS Hellgate High School area. What the main point of this is that they're trying to update the technologies on the roof. Of course, due to the Montana Department of Transportation requirement to allow access to Higgins Avenue during commuting hours, some of the work will need to take place at night. This project will place during spring break and maybe into April as well. Up next, we got the Committee of the Whole. Montana Elders for a Livable Tomorrow had a 2 successful wildfire ! Ready or not ? Event in Bonner, and to MOLLI. Jack Cohen gave a presentation to the City Council at the Committee of Whole meeting the other day. He is a retired physical therapist for the School Forestry at the University of Montana, and this is a nice little introduction of what he had to say about forest timbers.
And what we're looking at here are the firebrands, the burning embers that are being lofted out of these 2 houses. This is short-range spotting, but look at the size of the firebrands that are contributed by the burning houses. When we see them hit something, they shatter, indicating that they're fairly good size. So let's see a demonstration of what a firebrand shower or an intense blizzard of firebrands actually looks like. Now, in this case, what we're demonstrating in a laboratory is only a firebrand exposure, no heating from flame. This is not contributing heat to the structure. And we've put pine needles and bark mulch and pine needles in the gutters and pine needles up here on the composition shingle roof, so that the firebrands, this is real time that you're seeing, are igniting fires in the debris around the structure. So the flames that you see are not coming from the wildfire, they're coming from ignitions due to firebrands igniting all the debris around the structure.
All right, so as you can see, the house quickly catches on fire because of some of the brush and debris that are around your home. So clean out your gutters. Make sure that you don't have too many bushes or plant life that are close to your house as well. So he goes into this talk. Of course, the video shows how this is mostly how if houses are near forests can easily catch on fire just from the embers coming right at them and being bombarded with this. But of course, part of this meeting was discussing the probable losses in fire seasons, or as Jack Cohen calls it, fire episodes near communities. And he talks about how homeowners can get involved and be ready for these kinds of fire episodes.
And the reason I'm here is for the social stuff. So I'm sort of handing this off. Because home ignition zones are typically private property. So homeowners have the principal authority for reducing the ignitability of their homes. I mean, nobody else has that authority. So if homeowners don't take responsibility to match that authority, if they don't engage in reducing the ignitability of their homes, then we can't prevent wildland urban fire disasters. So when we look at a scene like this and recognize that home ignition resistance means extreme wildfires without wildland urban fire disasters, we need to recognize that we have to somehow engage the homeowners to participate.
Of course, as you can kind of clearly see here, that there are many ways, of course. I don't know where I'm going with this, so I'll just stop right there. So anyways, there are many ways to help prevent the spread of wildfires, and the biggest one are the trees in the surrounding areas and the closer the trees and brush to your homes. The closer the trees and the brush are to actually your homes, the higher chance that your house can catch on fire. Everything has a potential to catch on fire regardless. So even if you have you did the right thing and everything's okay, doesn't mean that your house cannot catch on fire. And a lot of times basically during this whole meeting, Jack Cohen talks about some of the things, a story from his experiences of going out of the area in which he has a home in the middle of a forest, and what kind of the short-term things you can do, but sometimes it's beyond your control. So this is Jack Cohen about his experiences with his home in a fire episode.
So we have property in the Garnets, and it's a cabin that tends to be vulnerable. Okay, it hasn't been re-engineered to get rid of particularly the inside corners between a deck and the wood walls. So what I have recommended and what I do is I go in and I cover. Before we left, I went in and covered that with heavy-duty aluminum foil and stapled it on the inside corner. So those are the kinds of things that we can do temporarily, and there are other things that can be done more permanently that are a bit more decorative.
Jack.
All right, so of course, Jack Cohen gave a presentation for the majority of this meeting of the Committee of the Whole. It's about an hour long. You guys can check it out. It kind of shows you fire episodes and slides and video representation of a lot of the fires that people have gone through. He considers the fire season to be more episodic in nature, because you can't expect a fire to basically be in the same place twice, because there's no kindling to cause the fire. And also, there's a lot of issues in terms of working with the private owners, or dealing with the private owners who expect their homes to be saved, but at the same time will not heed advice from the fire department and folks that want to help them prevent their house catching on fire. So a lot of efforts are made to be pulled away to help save some of these homes, rather than put out the fires and spread a fire. So the priority a lot of times is trying to prevent the fires from spreading, but then when there's a house in danger, a lot of times they have to send a crew to help prevent that house from being on fire. Not because they have to, is because they usually, it's just part of the way they just do things. Anyways, this full presentation is available online by going to ci.missoula.mt.us. It is a wonderful website where you can find out everything in the city of Missoula government, upcoming committee meetings, committee of the whole, city council meetings. I believe that there should be a city council meeting next Monday, unless it falls on the 5th Monday of the month, which I doubt. But then again, I could be wrong because it's the 26th. So anyways, that's about it for your city council report. I have a nice little art clip for you guys. This is a brand new art clip, and this will end at the end of April, and this is at the Missoula Art Museum. So have some of this, and then I'll talk about events, and I also have another new art clip for you guys. So you guys are getting spoiled today for the last show I'm going to be doing for the month of March. So stay with me. Hey guys, welcome back. Now it's time to talk about some events that are happening in the city of Missoula. Let's kick things off with some Morning Friday education with the Minds Data Lab collection. They're looking for kids aged 3 to 8 years old from 10 a.m. to 12 noon today to participate in a data collecting source to get information from kids aged 3 to 8. If you have a kid and they're going to go to Tiny Tales or Family Story Time, it's a good way just to kind of show up just a little bit early to help support the Missoula Public Library in data collection. Yarns and watercolor also start at 12 noon at the Missoula Public Library, where you get to do some yarns, but if you can't do yarns, you can do some watercolor, and vice versa. Once again, Family Story Time and Tiny Tales is at 10:30 a.m. at Missoula Public Library for kids who you want your kids to start engaging in books and being part of the library. And it's a good way to learn to read as well as telling stories and finding books. Cribbage and Bridge is starting at 12:30 at the Missoula Senior Center. Missoula Senior Center is your place to go for all your card games, luncheon needs, for anybody who just wants to go there and check it out. There's a gun show at the fairgrounds. Of course, not the gun show that's happening here. The gun show, that's terrible. I'll stop. Okay, gun show at the Missoula Fairgrounds. Sports Connection Spring Gun Show at the Fairgrounds Home Art Building Friday, opening from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. this afternoon, and of course Saturday and Sunday it'll open at 9 a.m. and happen probably until about 5. So you guys get to enjoy some gun shows. People get to show off their guns. People get to trade and sell guns. Of course, they're really good about selling and trading, making sure that you have all your papers in order as well. Open hours in the makerspace of the Missoula Public Library. Open hours to visit and explore the resources of the makerspaces, and this is happening from 1 to 6 p.m. at the Missoula Public Library. They have a 3D printer. It's great. It's wonderful. Go check it out. Acrotainment is at 4 p.m. at the MCT Center of Performing Arts, shifting the sands of time. Acrotainment is a fantastic experience with your acrobatic theater where the whole family will love. So if you like Cirque du Soleil, but you don't want to go to Vegas or Spokane to check it out, stick around Missoula and learn about the sands of time, past, present, and future collide tonight, where they have no boundaries as they shift into years and places that make our collective history, from medieval warriors to tittling tea-drinking damsels, from the Industrial Revolution to 1980s pop rockers. And this is happening at MCT 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. tonight, Saturday 3 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. And then, of course, if you're interested in hanging out in the downtown area, Family Friendly Friday is your place to be. They have drink specials, and you get to keep your kids occupied with other kids for the Family Friendly Friday at the Top Hat. They always do it. League guest Zeppa and TSPS at the VFW. It's going to be rock music. Rest Nest of the Revelator is going to be Union Club. Showdown is going to be the Sunrise Saloon. Taj and the Sweatshop Sneakers Movement is going to be Top Hat Lounge. It's going to be reggae, going to be rap. It's going to be wonderful. I know Taj. He's great. He's a great entertainer. And you can check that out at the Top Out and more events at MissoulaEvents.net. And like I said, I have another treat for you guys. This is an art clip being featured at the Zootown Arts Community Center. And when I come back, I'll talk about the rest of your events and wrap up the show. So stay with me. Thank you, Rick Phillip. Rick Phillip is our is an employee here at MCAT. He's been here forever, and he does a lot of wonderful art clips for us, and also all the city council meetings that we do here as well. So thanks, Rick. Moving on, here's some events that are happening for your Saturday. Starting early morning is your winter market, happening from November 11th to April 21st, excluding February 24th. Available products include fruits and vegetables, fresh baked pastries, fruit preservatives, honey eggs, cured meat, frozen meat cuts, pickled products, breakfast and lunch items, soaps and lotions, handcrafted jewelry, quality arts and craft items, all happening at the Missoula Senior Center starting at 9 a.m. every Saturday until April 21st. Just before the regular, I don't know why I said regular, but just before the farmers market, people's market, and the knick-knack market, the bridge underneath the street market. There's only 3 markets, and I named 5. But it happens in downtown Missoula. You can't miss it. There's the Missoula Home and Garden Show at the Adams Center starting 10 a.m. tomorrow morning from 10 a.m. to 5. And then, of course, again on Sunday from 10 to 4, the Missoula Home and Garden Show is starting at the University's Adams Center, not University Center, University's Adams Center. It's where they play basketball. You can't miss it. Trucker Kids, Traveler's Rest birthday special scavenger hunt. So Traveler's Rest is an educational place for outdoorsmen and learning about the outdoors. And they're doing a birthday to celebrate its 17 years of age. It was established 17 years ago, and since then it has been beloved by people all over the world for its historical, cultural, and natural significance. They look forward to many more years made special with the help of many wonderful visitors and volunteers and visitors to tell stories about history. And of course, you can help celebrate the park's birthday with kids scavenger hunt through the park, birthday cake, and prizes. The kids are aged 5 to 10 and their families. It's Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon. It's going to be at the Travelers Rest State Park Visitor Center. So Trucker Kids is a free series of activities programs occurring the 4th Saturday of every month for kids aged 5 to 10 and their families. Celebrate the rich culture and natural history of Western Montana and the Travelers Rest. Missoula's Valley Longspur Banquet. Hilton Garden Inn, the Missoula Valley Longspur is in the local chapter of National Wild Turkey Federation. The NWTF is dedicated to conservation of wild turkey and the preservation of their hunting heritage. The annual banquet is the principal fundraiser and support for a number of conservation programs and habitat improvement programs. Come join us for this fun event: dinner, silent auction, raffles, and a live auction of great items. So, yeah, turkeys. Protect the wild turkeys. There's a lot of wild turkeys. Trust me. I was biking up Blue Mountain a couple of years ago, and a couple wild turkeys were basically it kind of felt like they were in a gang. There were quite a few of them kind of bushed around the street, and they didn't care who was nearby. They weren't gonna move for anybody. So be aware, wild turkeys can be kind of cray-cray. Anyways, moving on, so this weekend, along with the gun show, this is not usually affiliated with the gun show, but this is its own thing. So Friends of NRA is a blockbuster fundraising program under the National Rifle Association Foundation. Since day one, it has been 100% grassroots effort fueled by United Front to secure the Second Amendment and raise money for the shooting sports. Nothing makes a Friend of NRA event more unique than the 13,000 dedicated volunteers who work tirelessly to make these events happen, and the generous attendees and donors who support their efforts. And this is at the Doubletree at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. A night at the circus is going to be at Mask Studio, and as you saw from our programs that are going to be airing this weekend at Missoula Out and About, the Mask Studio is doing a night with the circus. It's family-friendly performance event, and kids under 12 are free. And the general admission price is $5. Let's see. This is another thing that's happening. This is 6:30 is when the doors open, and the 7 p.m. is when the show starts. They feature a bonus student showcase and special guest. So along with the circus, they have other things there as well with aerial silks, acrobatics, dance theater, and more. That's what's happening at the circus. So Missoula Home and Garden Show, again, just want to reiterate that it's happening on Sunday as well from 10 to 4 a.m. But here are some of your late night events for your Saturday night before I wrap up my show. You get some DJ music with Chris Moon at the Badlander tonight. You got some karaoke at the VFW. You got Band in Motion at the Sunrise Saloon. Tom Catmull will be playing at the Union Club. We have his son working here. Folkception at the Top Hat Lounge is going to be playing some rock folk music at Top Hat. So you guys can enjoy all that and more by going on to the MissoulaEvents.net website. MissoulaEvents.net. Hey, what's happening in Missoula? This is what's happening in Missoula. No, but you didn't tell me what's happening in Missoula. Well, look up for yourself. There's plenty of stuff going on in Missoula. You just got to go to MissoulaEvents.net. So please stop asking. Anyways, thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I kept the show kind of streamlined, so I hope you guys enjoyed my wonderful show, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. It's going to be a interesting weekend. Once again, if you want to sign up for our summer camps and you want to learn more about my morning show, you can go to MCAT.org. MCAT.org is your resource for everything Missoula in media and television. Thanks, guys. And I'm just going to wrap up my show now. I keep on saying I'm wrapping up my show, but it's officially wrapped. So for Wake Up Missoula, I'm Scott Ramph.